Good afternoon. Today I will be talking to you about the engagement of online learners in an online environment. With consistently expanding technological advancements, online education is becoming more prominent and legitimized in higher education. Because of this, we seek to provide support for online learners that parallels the experience of non-distance students. Meet Melissa. Melissa is a recent graduate of the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill. Looking for ways to advance in her field of social media marketing, Melissa sought out online programs in communication management. She is one of the younger students in her cohort, but has similar reasons for engaging in her online program, including creating opportunities for when she begins a family. The online learning population is a diverse group of learners from a variety of cultural and educational backgrounds. However, currently the average online learner is female, around 35 years old, and married with children. Online learners enjoy the flexibility of pursuing education on their own time along with other life goals. Though a majority of online learners are currently white, there is an increase of minority student enrollment. The main challenge that we face with online learners is without a physical space, how do we engage learners virtually so that they are receiving a comparable education to competing programs in person? How do we know that we are best serving our students and aiding them in persistence to their goals, whether they be the conference of a degree or simply completing a course? As previously stated, persistence is one of the largest issues that we see among online learners. Persistence refers to the learner's actions as they relate to continuing their education from the first year until degree completion. So it is important to understand the variables that affect these learners and how instructors can reduce their implications. We want to find out how to engage and retain online learners, so we look into theorists that have presented literature on non-traditional and distance learners in the past. Specifically, we look at Bean and Metzger's 1985 persistence model and the further development of this idea through Rovai's model of persistence in 2003. Though slightly dated, the general concepts still apply. This fit is determined by academic variables such as study habits and course availability, background variables such as age, ethnicity, and educational goals, environmental variables like finances and hours of employment, and psychological variables including stress and satisfaction. Rovai takes Bean and Metzger's persistence model further by including skills necessary for distance learners. Rovai identifies that there are factors both internal and external to the institution. External factors include financial issues, employment hours, and family responsibilities. Internal factors include social and academic integration and development of a learning community. The online learner population is described as a heterogeneous population, so it is crucial to explore the cultural differences that students carry with them. According to Hofstede, culture is the collective mind of a group of people that distinguishes it from others based on a set of values. Hofstede and Bond break up this into 4 dimensions. Power distance looks at the status position of individuals in society. Cultures with small power distances are more learner-centered, while larger can interfere with the ability to challenge ideas. Uncertainty avoidance relates to the degree to which certain cultures are able to tolerate unstructured environments. More uncertainty avoidance leads to a more lecture-focused approach. Individualism versus collectivism refers to a continuum, where individualist cultures hold the purpose of education as learning how to learn and collectivist cultures as learning how to do a task. Masculinity, femininity refers to how certain cultures view and value gender differences and can impact how learners interact with each other and instructors. So, this all comes back to developing a presence to make online learning tangible. The development of presence in the online environment is essential for engagement and learning to occur, and the lack of it can cause learners to drop out. Garrison, Anderson, and Archer explore this through cognitive, social, and teaching presences. Cognitive presence is the extent to which participants in any particular configuration of a community of inquiry are able to construct meaning. Social is the ability of participants to project their personal characteristics into the community, thereby presenting themselves to other participants as real people, and teaching presence is focused around facilitation. Cognitive scaffolding, another theory, comes from this idea of the zone of proximal development, which is the distance between the actual developmental level as determined by independent problem solving and the level of potential development as determined through problem solving under adult guidance or in collaboration with a more capable peer. Cognitive scaffolding supports learners in this zone. Hanafin, Land, and Oliver specify 4 types of cognitive scaffolding. Procedural scaffolding guides learners about how to utilize resources. Metacognitive scaffolding provides a framework for how to think. Conceptual scaffolding tells learners what to consider, and strategic scaffolding guides on approaches to learning tasks and problems. So we go back to Hofstede and Bond and note that diverse cultures require varying instruction. It may be helpful to move from initial instructor to student-directed learning and to focus more on instructor facilitation rather than participation. Instructors can work to engage different power distances, levels of uncertainty avoidance, individualistic versus collective thought, and masculine and feminine expectations. It is important to establish social presence at the beginning of the course through discussions, introductions, and individual correspondence. Instructors can develop cognitive presence by implementing models that encourage critical thinking and productive dialogue. The teaching presence requires the instructor to find ways to interact with the participants on a regular basis and provide them with frequent feedback. Scaffolding can be static or dynamic. Procedural scaffolds can aid learners through orientation, experience, and resource scaffolds. Metacognitive scaffolding includes planning, monitoring, and evaluating scaffolds. Conceptual scaffolding can be provided through aids such as study guides or knowledge maps, and strategic scaffolding expressed through alternative approaches. So we go back to our original student, Melissa, and we see the variety of experiences provided to her as an online learner. The online environment can provide her opportunities to interact with many culturally diverse groups of learners, allowing her, for example, to experience aspects of an individualist-based learning that she may not encounter in her current social constraints. Our goals are to limit the attrition of online learners through better understanding of cultural diversity and a creation of a concrete presence. Instructors need to lessen the effects of this zone of proximal development through the challenge and support of cognitive scaffolding, helping online learners to persist in an autonomous manner. Thank you.